Hello friends, welcome back to Happy Heart Gardens and welcome back to my kitchen. So today I'm going to be preserving some broccoli that I just harvested, and I thought I would just take you along with me and walk you through what I do to preserve my broccoli. So this year my plan was to grow a lot of broccoli because I really wanted to fill our freezer up with broccoli, and unfortunately Mother Nature had other plans. I was only able to harvest about half of it just due to me traveling, weather fluctuations and all kinds of stuff. Broccoli didn't turn out as good as I was hoping, but we did get some, so let me show you. So this is the broccoli that I was able to harvest, and you can see some of it has signs of what they call a brown bead, I believe, or just early flowering because it was so hot. We had like a frost, then we had then we got real high to like 80s. So you can see it was starting to get funky on me. Might also be some fungal issues, I don't know, but I am gonna be able to salvage a lot of this, which is fantastic. So I wanna get it done while it is just fresh picked and into the freezer. This is probably my best one. Look at this guy. I mean, the broccoli itself is really fantastic. Like, I grew good broccoli, and then with me being out of town, I wasn't able to get it before these problems started. And then a couple of heads were just really small. This was another variety. These are all one variety, and then the other variety, this one here, which I forget what it's called now, I ended up with the least amount. I was only able to harvest these small ones. It bolted like very fast, so that's a bummer, but I think I'm gonna save this for dinner and we're gonna go ahead and process these guys. So first thing I'm gonna do is just go ahead and chop them up into the size that I want, discarding any of the bad ones for the compost, and then we'll get the steamer out. And as I'm going through and chopping this, I like to have 3 bowls going. So I'm gonna have 1 bowl for the good broccoli that I'm gonna steam, and I wanna make sure that they're all kind of roughly the same size. That's just gonna help them cook better later on. And then I'm also gonna have another bowl for the pieces that I'm not keeping, you know, that have the brown bits and just don't look so great. These will get composted so nothing goes to waste. And then I'll do another bowl for all of these stems. I'll take these little leaves off, but then I will save the tender stems and just do them separately. And I'll use them for like a soup or something like that. Again, nothing goes to waste. This is all good edible broccoli flavor here, so I will be sure to save that, but I do like to separate my stems from my florets. And as I'm working through this, some of these you can see just have like kind of that, you know, it's almost like they're starting to just kind of get slimy. I can just easily pick them out, and just out of this whole thing, there's only like these 2 that'll go in the scrap, and then I still have all this great broccoli. As I'm going through this, there's quite a bit that's salvageable, which is exciting, and I'm just taking out these undesirable looking ones that have kind of started to get like a little slimy. You can see this is my trash bowl. I got a big old bowl of good stuff, and then I separate the stems, but I'll have a full video on YouTube soon. So this is all the broccoli we have to freeze, quite a bit. These are all the tops, the florets, all the stems. This is actually for fresh eating tonight, so I don't have to worry about that. That'll go in the fridge. And then this is all we have for the compost. Really not too much. So excited about that. All right, it is time to steam. So I have everything set up. I have a pair of tongs. I have a slotted spoon, my ice water bath, which actually is gonna kind of slide over here. My steamer, I use an old school steamer. It actually has a timer on it, but I am gonna just use a timer on my phone. It'll be a lot easier for me because this is, when you're talking just like a few minutes, it's kind of gets tricky. So I'm gonna blanch this for 4 minutes, and then I'll kind of toss it around at like the 2-minute mark, just to see if it needs, like, you know, to make sure it's all evenly steamed. Then of course I have my florets and my stems separated, and then I have 2 sheet pans with just a clean kitchen towel on top of, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna put in some of the broccoli, not too much. I don't want it to be too full, and I'll just do multiple batches, and I'll let it run, you know, for 2 minutes, turn it 2 minutes, and then I'll take it out right into the ice bath, leave it in here for a couple of minutes, and then I will take it out, and I wanna drain it well and let it dry before I'm gonna flash freeze it. So flash freezing just means I'm gonna put it on the tray in a single layer, stick it in my freezer probably overnight, and then tomorrow I will go ahead and bag it all up and vacuum seal it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy going. I'm just gonna set it for like 30 minutes because it's gonna take me a little while to get through all of these batches. And we'll just let it go ahead and start kind of steaming first before I put the broccoli in. And then, like I said, I'm just gonna use a timer on my phone, and I will do, you know, the 4-minute batches. All right, things are starting to get steamy, so let's get our first batch in of the florets. Like I said, don't want to do too many here. Want to make sure they have room to steam. Maybe just a tiny bit more. All right. Get the lid back on, and I will start my timer for 2 minutes. So why do we go through the process of steaming, you know, pre-cooking vegetables before we freeze them? Well, that's because vegetables have enzymes in them that cause them to deteriorate over time, you know, to go bad. So this is essentially sort of stopping that process. So by giving them just a quick cook, we're sort of stopping the process to stop down the deterioration. So that way we're retaining more nutrients, also helping to maintain the color and the flavor. So that's why we steam them or cook them briefly for just a few minutes, and then we put them into the ice bath to stop that cooking process. All right, this broccoli has been frozen overnight. Now it's time to just get it off the pan. I screwed up. Normally I would put parchment paper underneath, and it makes it so much easier to transfer it off, but I forgot. So I'm just gonna have to get out the spatula, get them into my vacuum seal bags, and then get them sealed up. Let me just go ahead and get the bag in our vacuum sealer here, all lined up. If I can do it one-handed. All right. And the other thing is pre-freezing it is going to help sort of maintain its floret shape and not just smush it when it's drawing out the air with the vacuum sealer. You just want to make sure that there's never any liquid getting into your vacuum sealer, that the things are dry or frozen. Hopefully I didn't have it too full. Is it going to seal? Yep. Do my little pressure relief. And there you go. There's our beautiful broccoli, all ready to go back in the freezer and enjoy anytime.